before I say anything, I'm gonna go ahead and say that yes, we are still in the truck. The last video I made for you guys, I told you guys the truck will be going away, but I didn't really take into account the time it was gonna take for them to order the parts. So you guys will still see the truck for like a couple days. I just want to answer that question before everybody starts asking it. Anyways, this morning we are heading back from the cottage. We're up there for the weekend. I told you guys there's a couple things I had to do for the Civic to get on the road. Right now is kind of like really hard to get things going because like all the insurance places and licensing offices and all that kind of stuff have extremely limited hours right now because of COVID. So it's kind of hard to get anything going, especially on the weekends. Like everything is closed. Today is Monday morning. I think we have some stuff figured out. I just found out there's construction on this road and that is why everything is going so slow. A good surprise, or maybe not a surprise, but there's a plan that I have for the Civic, the new EK that I've had. Literally the reason why we bought it was because I already had an engine for an engine swap for it. So this is something that I knew was coming. I kind of tried to let you guys know a little bit of it secretly in the video, but today we're gonna be picking that up. Hopefully I'm gonna be getting a bunch of stuff done. First off, I gotta get through this traffic and I gotta get my Ontario driver's license because they won't give me insurance without it, which is lame.
One eternity later.
So this morning was a bust. It was kind of a bust on our fault. That was a bad sentence. This morning was a bust and it was kind of our fault. We didn't have the right documentation to get what we needed to get done. We went to like the wrong place to get our license, and then we found out the right place to go to get our license. So we went to the right place to get our license, waited in line, and then found out that we had the wrong documentation. And without the documentation, you can't get a license, and without a license, you can't get insurance. Without insurance, you can't get a license plate. We basically spent our entire morning trying to get stuff done that we cannot get done, but that is okay. So fast forward. Holy dude, I'd give you a hand. Relax. Look at you. Your muscles. Should we just tell them right now what this is?
Yeah, they pretty much know. You told them like a couple times if they haven't had a hint.
Yeah. If you guys have been paying attention, I have mentioned this a couple times. Actually, right now, as we were speaking, Emerson just called me and said that he's putting Jasmine on a train today. So hopefully that car will be here within the next couple weeks. So we actually had options for this, which is kind of funny. Under here we have what I was originally wanting to do, which not because I'm smart or know what I'm talking about, just because it was more complete and it kind of made more sense. This is a K20 A3.
I think it's an
A3.
A3?
It's the one with a
base.
It's a base model from, you know what it's from?
Yeah, base RSX.
So it's got no VTEC, which whatever, the one in Jasmine doesn't have VTEC. And then it's got an open diff 5-speed. Tim knows things about Civics because Tim used to be the Civic man.
Exactly, yeah.
Tim should be here to explain it, but unfortunately we were gonna come here yesterday. Tim was gonna be here, but we stayed at the cottage an extra night. Anyways, I'm gonna let Tim probably talk to you guys a bunch about this stuff because he genuinely knows a lot more than I do or Chris does, but you guys remember Tim had, I don't know anything about like new Civics. An FA5 SI? Does that ring a bell? I don't know. It was this car. Tim had this one. This was the one that unfortunately he lost in the fire. We sold a bunch of hats. We made some money for him. He knows a lot more about these like newer engines. So this one I originally wanted to get, but he recommended against it because it doesn't have an LSD, which once you get high power, we're gonna want. And you can't make as much power with this one. So we're gonna steal the one that I was originally gonna put in Jasmine. All this means that we're taking the one from Jasmine is that whatever we do to this Civic, we have to beat when we get mine back. If this thing somehow makes like 600 horsepower, we're gonna have to push 8.
Yeah, 100%.
It's gonna be sketchy. Is it heavy? I feel like the B series one I had was pretty light.
So actually, okay, I don't know if Tim mentioned, but this actually will sit a lot lower than this would.
Oh really?
Yeah, so see, this is where Tim comes into play.
Yeah.
He knows all this. But this one has a lot more ground clearance than this one will.
Just because of where the engine, it kind of makes sense.
I know the basics, but this one is going to hang down lower. So I think there's ways you can get around. I think if you change the front subframe, you can clear it.
Someone was talking to me about a subframe.
Tim has all that in his head. I know nothing, but that's what I remember him saying. Is this one will tuck up nicer, and this one is going to hang low. Because the oil pan also is a lot, like if you look at the oil pan on this puppy.
Yeah, I was actually noticing that when I was just here.
It's a beast, right? Where on this one,
it's nice and like
pretty
average.
low profile, right? Like you see how like slim it is?
Yeah.
As far as I know.
Yeah. Well,
but the benefit is that this will give you like probably 200 horsepower out the box.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, this thing dropped in is good, but we're not even gonna drop it in like this.
What do you mean?
We got, you know, we're just gonna put and just dump it all at once. I'm good, how are you? Oh, that was nice and fast. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Bye. Dude, they already got parts for my truck.
Really?
Yeah. What day did I call and confirm that on? Like Thursday? Yeah. That was fast. All right, that's good stuff. So I guess once I get home, it's a good thing this all worked out this weekend. I got to take the truck, take the ATV out, pick up the engine. This is a septic tank, so my truck can't come any farther back, and we can't push an engine crane across the grass. Too short. Hang on. Boom.
Good to go.
Fits nice. Hey, thanks for the tire too. I'm gonna use that as a drift spare, you know?
All good, buddy. It's probably not the right size. It's probably like a 16.
Dude that told me this car told me it had one leaky tire. What he forgot to tell me was it has 2 leaky tires. Bro, come on. Look at the slant this thing's on when I pulled in the driveway, dude. I don't care about a leaky tire, but give a brother a heads up. Look at that thing. Look at that thing. That is rim on the ground, baby. And what is super awesome is you guys have been saying that you guys want to see some more power mods on the channel. I have been saying that I am working on more power mods on the channel, but you guys know with COVID and everything has been going super slow. But check this out. So we picked up a new engine to make this Civic go fast. And then while we were away this weekend, dude, this big boy got dropped off to make the BRZ go fast. And one of these is just a regular mod. I'm gonna say this one. And that one is much smaller, a much littler package, but it got dropped off to make this go fast. So I hope you guys are super fired up. Now that we're kind of here and things are figured out and things are showing up, dude, it is time to start making these cars go fast. Anyways, I'm super fired up right now. But before we do anything with this EK, I gotta do something quick first for you guys. I really liked how we had the list when we did Jasmine both times, just because it makes it really easy to keep track of what we're doing. So I don't want this to necessarily be like a super, can't get all the Sharpies in my pocket. You guys know I want to make it like affordable and kind of like budget friendly for those of you guys at home that can realize like, yo, I don't need a whole lot of money to do this and have a really nice, fun car. So I made a list again. I did the thing I did the first time where I put it on the shiny side of this paper instead of the back side. So now if you touch that, it's gonna smudge. So I'm just gonna leave it here and hope it dries. So I was gonna use a color to write a name, but I don't know what we're gonna name the car, bro. What do we name you, dude? We got too many J's already. We got Jenny, we got Jasmine. The BRZ has just endlessly been called the BRZ, so we're gonna leave it there. What do you name a giant flat-tired turd like yourself? I want you guys to comment down below the name that you think we should name this car, and we're gonna sift through every single last one of your guys' comments. I pinky promise, and we're gonna find the most popular name, and don't be dumb with it. Go down there, vote for your favorite name, and then I left a little bit of space for whatever we name this build. Also, Dad, I'm gonna just leave this here because I don't have any space. Hey, you little bitch, got your lifting pants on or what? Everybody can tell you just woke up from a nap. I asked him a question, he just goes, Dude, manual labor sucks. So I'm sure a ton of you guys probably saw this thing. You guys are all Honda guys and you just knew like exactly what this thing was. But for those of you that don't, this is a K20Z3, which means that this bad boy has a VTEC. So I was dropping the ball on that this thing was actually gonna go in Jasmine for a while. I think I said it at least 3 times in videos before. I was saying like when we get home, like, okay, so I have Jasmine, I'm gonna do all this stuff. And then Jasmine got left behind in BC for a while, a little bit longer than I wanted her to. And while I was here, I started hearing about like different things, like, yo, maybe do a K24. Because I don't know a whole lot about these Honda engines. Just like before, just like the good old days when I first started this stuff. Everything I'm doing right now, I know absolutely nothing about. So getting into this engine, I don't know anything about it. I know some stuff, but like not a lot. So for this car, my main goal is to make it, like I said, look just super clean. We're gonna kind of like clean up the whole exterior, just make the whole car look nice and clean, kind of like Jenny. Jenny's just like a clean looking, but still relatively stock car. So that's the goal for this, and just to make it just a weapon, dude. Like I just want this thing to be like scarily fast. And then when I get Jasmine home, I want Jasmine to kick this thing's ass, just because Jasmine's the OG. We gotta make sure that Jasmine is always coming out on top of the Civic game. But for now, this thing should be really fun. It should be a really good learning experience. So this thing is a K20Z3, which means it's VTEC. K20 means it's a 2-liter. They have an amazing track record and like are very well known in the Honda community. And because Jasmine ain't with us right now, I was like, you know what? This is relatively cheap. We got this engine for pretty cheap. So I'm like, it fits the affordable part of this build perfectly. And if we throw like an eBay turbo kit at this thing, it can destroy the dyno. So this obviously still needs some pieces. You could tell it was from a scrapyard because it has a seatbelt, dude. There's a seatbelt that they used to pull it out of whatever it was in. Like this, that is some janky shit. So what sucks, because I said like this was a little bit of a cheaper engine, we lost some hoses. We have pretty much no accessories. Came with a clutch, but that clutch is disgusting. I'm gonna have to get that out. Obviously this has been out of a car for a while. Before I talk about that thing anymore, I actually have a list of stuff that Tim sent me, because he originally got this engine. So this engine is kind of a funny story. So Tim, you guys know, had, well, what did we say it was earlier, FA5? He made a lot of power with that same engine, was in his Civic, I believe. But he picked that thing up because he's like, yo, this is an amazing engine to build, super good for like just any sort of build. He was planning on dropping it in like something crazy. So he bought it because it was super cheap, it was at a junkyard, and he left it in Chris's barn. And then it literally has lived there for years. Like, I'm talking probably 3 years it's been in there. This happened pretty close to after I left. So it's probably, at least 2 years it's been in that barn. Anyways, Tim moved on. He bought that Miata that we helped him with some parts on when you guys bought all the merch after the fire. He now has a Kia Stinger. Him and Chris split the G, and then they have been looking at something else also, but I'm not gonna tell you guys that right now. Anyways, this engine has been sitting around for a long, long time, and I was like, yo, can I buy this off you? Because you're evidently not using it. And Tim wants nothing more than to make this thing just an absolute weapon, so he was all game for it. It's Tim, thank you for helping me out on the motor. So essentially, yeah, it's like a junkyard engine that Tim bought from the junkyard, and then I just bought it from Tim because he wasn't doing anything with it. That's why it's kind of like a little bit more rusty. You guys will notice the clutch is like a little bit gross because it's just been sitting like in not really under a tarp for a long time. So that engine came out of a 2007 Civic Si Coupe. It was wrecked, hence why it got pulled. Tim said he can't remember the exact kilometers, but it was slightly under 100,000 kilometers. Chris was saying it was like 60,000. Honestly, it's so hard to tell. Like, it looks, obviously we're gonna open it up and we're gonna find out. Just looking at it physically from the outside, it doesn't look new at all. Like, this is Ontario, boys. If you don't keep your car nice and clean, this is like just kind of, like, look at that. I don't know if someone painted this and now it's coming off or what the deal is, but this stuff's just kind of gross. Ontario, we salt the roads in the winter, and if you don't take care of your stuff, it will rust. This truck is a great example of taking care of your stuff. Anyways, Chris said like 60,000 kilometers. Tim says under 100,000. So it's pretty low mileage, which is good. Then Tim said right now it's missing some accessories. He has some of the extra parts that we could probably get off him. And then he said he tested compression across all 4 cylinders and it was very strong. And then he just said not sure what else you want to know. So I don't really think there's a whole lot else to know. It was from a wrecked car, Civic Si. But it is questionable, like, it's gotta be closer to the 100K mark just because look at all this oil that's leaking. Like, it's not leaking anymore, but it obviously was at some point. I don't know what it was, but I don't know, man. I'm gonna say it's a little bit higher on the mileage. There is like minimal cust built up on that, which is sweet. That is the intake side. The exhaust side, I'm assuming, is gonna be a little bit dirtier. I don't know if you guys can see in there. It is dirtier, but it's not terrible. I don't think you guys can see it. It's a good base. This thing is definitely a solid base. To be honest, if we give it some love, like if you were to wire brush this stuff off. Oh yeah, dude. Within a couple hours, we could have this thing looking spotless. Like look at this brush that I'm using. And look how good of a job it's doing. Damn. Dude, I'm gonna make this thing look beautiful. It's funny, because everything like inside this is perfectly brand new, amazing condition. It's just, you know, like I said, when you live in a place like this, if you don't care enough about your stuff or your cars in the winter, like, they 100% will just get, even the BRZ. The BRZ, I took really good care of, and like this, some of this white stuff, like this stuff, you can't avoid. I don't know what that is, just salt deposits on the aluminum or something. Some of this is impossible to avoid. Stuff like this is obviously avoidable. Oh yeah, I think this was actually sprayed. This was probably sprayed to match the color, because you can see it's kind of like weird up here. I'll probably build this in the background over the next couple weeks and get it exactly ready while we do some other stuff. Also, right now you guys are gonna notice this is not going on the mod list. For everybody that is watching, you guys can comment and tell everybody else when they start asking like what's the deal with the mod list or how come things aren't going on the mod list. When I did this last time, if I go ahead and I put that engine on there right now and we find an issue with it tomorrow, then we're hooped because it's too late. I'm just realizing right now that I never actually told you guys how much this engine was. This engine was 700 bucks, which isn't bad, but I never put anything on the mod list until it's in the car. So if we do coilovers tomorrow, coilovers have to go in, gotta drive it down the road, make sure they're good, because once you write down that list, the whole list is ruined if it's gotta come back off. So I need to get my engine hoist and stand and everything to get this off the ground. And then I'm gonna need like a subframe. I need a front subframe because like Chris was saying, this engine sits, it's really tall. I need to get like a different subframe. I'm not entirely sure which subframe I need to make this thing sit properly inside the car. I need a transmission, which I think I already sourced for approximately the same price as this engine, which has the LSD. I'm thinking I'm gonna go with a 5-speed because it has longer gears, which should theoretically be better for boost. So tonight, I think all the forums are gonna be my best friend. Find out everything I need for this. And for you, I already ordered a ton of eBay parts, which is super hype. Because they're like stuff, now that I've done this once, I can kind of go geared towards the ones I know will be okay, but aren't like super budgety. I'm shooting for like the mid to high range eBay stuff. It's affordable and it's like works, does the job well. Also, before I let you go, I want you guys to see this. This is super cool. Amongst some other cool stuff that you guys probably saw on Instagram if you follow me. If you guys remember the vlog, like the night before my birthday, Chris was super adamant that we go get rollers with the car. He like had it all planned out. He was super hyped to get rollers. Ty Killed did a really good job on the photos, and I thought that they were just doing it to get cool rollers. But check this thing out, dude. This is dope. So this has still got, Thomas, did you see this? Dude. Isn't that dope? That's sick. And he was like, yo, for your brand new house that you eventually get, if the world decides to work with us, he's like, your new house, your new shop, something, you're gonna have a sick piece of art to put up in there. So anyways, this is super cool. So big shout out to Chris and Ash. So we finally have some fun stuff showing up. We finally have the engine here. I gotta source some more parts for that. We have some good stuff for the BRZ, some good stuff for the Genesis. I feel like when I first moved home, I was in like a limbo where, like I told you guys, there was no momentum. I wasn't making my own momentum. I started buying stuff, I started making stuff happen, and now stuff is happening and I'm excited. And I'm excited to just start doing stuff. So today's video is kind of boring. We spent like a couple hours this morning trying to get our license transferred and then trying to get insurance, and it didn't work. I'm gonna get this big girl emptied out tonight because tomorrow morning I'm gonna go drop it off, get that damp fixed. But that's all I got for you guys today. Sorry today's video was a little bit boring. If you guys made it to the end of today's video though, one of you guys asked for this. And don't think just because you comment on the video and I don't like it or I don't comment back does not mean I don't read your comments. I read every single comment. And I like a lot of comments because sometimes I don't have a lot of time, so I want to make sure I recognize you guys. So I like a bunch, but I don't always comment back. But if you guys have made it this far in today's video, comment Jerry Can. Let me know that you guys made it. That is all I have for you guys. I hope you guys are fired up. I will catch you guys next time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out and stay committed.